So I recently did a quick review on this iron here. This is my new one. But I've got these three others here, and two of them really need to just go out for scrap. So I figured we may as well just pull them apart and have a look what's inside. I don't think there'll be anything particularly interesting, but they're here, so why not? This is actually my old one, and it's a typical problem with a lot of modern appliances these days is plastic. And you might be able to see here, it's just broken away. There was like a lift up flap here for the water filling hole, and I lifted it up and the whole lot just disintegrated and fell to pieces. And it's, I mean, it works, but it's not ideal. It's quite sharp, and well, you can see, look, I shouldn't really be able to just do that, so it's not very good at all. The other problem with this one is it tended to leak from around the dial as well now, so I think it's just sort of had its day. I've also got another old one that I kept. This was the original one that was replaced by the purple one. I actually kept this just to use as a tool, because sometimes I use that iron-on edging strip that you use on chipboard. So rather than ruin a decent iron that you want to use on your clothes, I just kept one for stuff like that. So that's what that was for. I've also got this one, which was given to me as a possible replacement to this broken one, but unfortunately it turned out with this one, I was trying to get out what I thought was scale from inside the sole plate, and I was using like a proper iron cleaning solution, and it just kept coming out more and more and more. And then I realised it was like a browny reddy colour, this stuff, and what it seems to be is that it's all gone rusty inside, so all I'm doing is stripping out more and more rust and metalwork from the inside of the iron. But this is actually a bit better iron than this one, so I think I'll keep this one as my toolbox iron for those kind of jobs, and we'll tear these other two down and see what's inside. So I'll start with this one and we'll see if we can get inside it. The usual security screw at the back there. It's one of these two-prong things, so we'll see if we can get that out and go from there. So yeah, just a cover plate, and obviously just connects up there then. And we've got some lights here of some sort. They look like they're just neon bulbs. If you can see those, that's just a neon bulb there, and that'll be the same that side. I think this is just going to be a strain relief for the cable. Yeah, it's just a flexible strain relief. And then we've got another screw in here. So I don't know how much we'll be able to get into this thing. I've got no idea how it comes apart, so we'll just have to see. I mean, this plastic's broken anyway, so I may as well. Looks like there's some more neon bulbs down in there. There's no other obvious screws on here. Well, not obvious to me at least. Oh, apart from these two here, which were very obvious, that I've clearly missed. So that's some screws out of there. I'm assuming that's just going to kind of lever out now, to guess. There might be a screw hidden under that actually. That would be a fairly logical place to hide one. This has probably been sealed in so that you can't try and fix it, as with a lot of things these days. We wouldn't want people repairing things now, would we? Yeah, so there's a screw down in there as well, as you can hopefully see. So that in theory should come off now. Doesn't seem to want to. You can see just down here there's another screw as well. You may be able to see down here in that gap, which is interesting because I'm not quite sure how you would get to that without damaging this white plastic, although I suppose in theory it should be possible to unclip it, but I will undo that as well, see if that makes any difference. I think that's just, yeah, it's just the handle, so yeah, not very good at all this, and these buttons then just push through this housing here, but I mean it's just that white piece there and the flap that covers the filler hole. Bit of a shame really. And these are just little pumps by the looks of it. I hadn't really considered how that worked, to be honest. So yeah, they're just like tiny little pumps. So they obviously draw water up from inside the tank here, and then just force it through these little hoses. One obviously, you can see, goes to this front jet here, and then this one must inject the water somewhere into the actual sole plate to create a bit more steam. I'm not particularly bothered about being careful with this because it's going in the bin, or not so much the bin, but whether the scrap people will take it, I don't know. And this just seems to operate a small, not so much a lever, but I suppose this is in effect, would help if that was in focus. This is in effect a lever in itself, this round thing, and all it does is adjust the depth of this plunger, and that must somehow adjust how much water actually gets pushed into the sole plate on a continual basis for the steam. It looks like the pumps have just fell apart, so we've got a spring inside there, and like a rubberized plunger which just slides inside and creates the pressure, I guess, to push the water through. It must actually, there must be a valve on the bottom of that, it must be a one-way valve, so when this is drawn upwards it must suck water out of the tank, and then when it's pushed back down, I'm assuming there'll be a one-way valve there that closes, so the only way the water can escape is then probably to go out of here and through and out the tube. That must be, I would assume that must be how that works. Yes, actually, you might be able to see in there. There's a little bit of rubber that's fell out, but if we look in the other one, that's very difficult to see. There's a bit on the spring, you might be able to see it on this spring actually, that little extra bit in the middle, and that looks like that pushes a piece of rubber down, which is that little brown bit there, as you can hopefully see. So that effectively acts as a one-way valve. So as I say, on the upstroke it pulls the water through, but the downstroke, that little rubber bung will then prevent the water going out back where it came from, and again force it through this tube. Now we've just got to see if we can get this off of here. Can't see any more screws, so I'm not sure what's holding it on. Not sure I really care either, so there we go. That's that problem solved. There is a screw. There's a screw hiding right down here, so it looks like maybe this front part here is a separate piece. Yeah, there's a clip. This is the problem with things like this. Unless you've taken them to pieces, you don't know how they come apart. So you see that comes off there, and then there's your screw underneath that. I'll just get rid of this. So there's your screw underneath there, so I've just basically broken that post off of that screw there, which doesn't really matter. Looks like this might be cast aluminium. And we've got a couple more screws on here. Actually, what we'll do first, I'll just undo these wires on the back here so I can free this sole plate completely. There'll be some kind of thermostat in here, and then these lights will come on when that thermostat's activated. So that's how that will work. I'll actually have to undo all of this. I wonder how many people are watching this now who hate it when someone uses a flat bladed screwdriver and a crosshead screw. Yeah, so we've got a couple of wires going up to this dial here, so this must offer some sort of a adjustment to the actual thermostat. I don't know if we can get that out or not. Yeah, so there's some clips on that, so should be able to just push those in, and then in theory just push out like that. Oh, so actually that's not what I thought it was doing then. That's just again another neon indicator trapped in here, so that probably indicates when the iron's actually doing something. And then we've got this rubber seal here between the tank and the sole plate by the looks of things. And then there's the rubber seal, and then this will be probably where, I would assume, where the feed that goes down from this pump here goes to. So that's for the extra steam. Yeah, so this adjustment, this temperature adjustment, goes down to this post here, so this will be doing something down in here, and if you listen carefully, that's the metal on the thermostat moving because of the temperature. So by altering that, you alter when the thermostat kicks in. So let's have a bit of a dig deeper. We've got that front screw out. There's two more at the back here. I assume we're going to find probably a rubber seal of some sort and a heating element. Be the logical thing to find. Yeah. So it looks like this is all made up of one piece, so that's sealed into the sole plate. So this here must feed the water into the sole plate and distribute it in a way that this, obviously the extra steam must get distributed about somehow. This bit here will be the thermostat. We might be able to actually see that in action now. So hopefully that's visible, and as I turn this, you'll see that contact opening and closing. That's basically what switches the element on and off. And this will be coupled to this plate in such a way that the heat difference is what activates it. I would assume this here is some kind of over temperature cutoff, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. Bit of a guess there, but well, let's see what's underneath it. Well, I don't seem to be able to budge that very easily, so I'm not entirely sure what that is. If anybody does know, I'd be interested to find out, but I'm guessing it's some kind of over temperature cut-off. Got a little bug there crawling about from something. Ah, great. So yeah, that's about it really for this. There's not a lot more to it as far as I can see. These are obviously the contact points for the actual element here. So we've got the feeds going in here. I assume that's just some kind of anchor to hold the cables in place, maybe. And these wires are what feed this neon indicator, which is the one I assume is what indicates when it's switched on. And as you can see here, you've got the neutral coming into this, and that will then switch the output of this to the other side of the element to switch it on and off. So it's quite a simple thing really. There's not really much more to it. It's just a pile of broken plastic and metal. So yeah, that was an iron.